When setting up issue tracking for your staff, you can control which staff members see which tasks, either in the left side menu or these buttons here on the right, which point to the same thing. For example, I'm currently signed in as an administrator, and I can see all the tasks that have been set up within Sentral. However, it doesn't have to be that way for all staff. You might like to restrict task types for different users and applications. If I sign in as a teacher, you can see that some of them have disappeared and are no longer available. That functionality can be defined in Issue Tracking Setup. I'll switch back to being an administrator and then navigate to Issue Tracking Setup and then Access. Actually, there'll be a bit of switching back and forth in this video to demonstrate what's going on, so stick with me. The task types are listed across the top, and the access permissions are listed below for each one. I'll use the executive task type for this example. Let's find that teacher I was just signed in as. You can see here that the access is listed as None. I'll change that to View. Then click Save. Now let's sign in again as that teacher and check to see if there is access to the executive task type. And you can see that the executive task type has become available. Now there is an exception to this method for defining access to various task types within Sentral. Let's check out another user account to see if they have access, and I'll quickly go back to being an administrator to find that user. Scrolling down, you can see that the access selected for this user is set to None. Let's quickly switch to that user account to check that. You can see here though that the executive task type is actually available for that user. Why is that? The reason is that this user has administrator access, and you can check that under the Setup menu in Manage User Accounts. Let's go there. Notice here that the user is indeed listed as an administrator, and this will override the setting nominated in Issue Tracking Setup. And while we're here, the same can also apply to other levels of access, such as Coordinator, and you can check this further by clicking on Manage Permissions over here on the left. Here you can see the different levels of access. Let's focus on Teacher and Coordinator. From this drop-down menu, I'll search for Issue Tracking. Notice the difference between Teacher and Coordinator level access. It's this last one that's important in this example. At present, it's set to Allow. That means that even if the task is not visible for this user in Issue Tracking Setup, it will still be visible because of this setting. This is something you'll need to keep in mind as you define the access levels for your staff when it comes to issue tracking tasks.